So far this week, we've started a discussion about links, and we've talked a little bit about the history of links and about the basic structure of a link. And we started off in the last lesson talking about relative links. And those are links that are set up to show the web browser and the server how to find a link based on the relative position of that new resource, the resource that's being linked to, from the current position of the page you're seeing. And some of that may not make a whole lot of sense right now. I think to simplify it, what we'll say is that relative links are generally links that are used only to access or to link to resources that are on the same server, in the same server web space as the resource that you're looking at the time that you're building or using the link. Now, this lesson is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about absolute links, and absolute links do work differently. Absolute links say these resources are not on the same server as the resource you're looking at, these things you're linking to. They're external, so we have to provide more information. So today we're going to continue on with the project that we were working on in the last lesson, where we said we're just going to link to this file name. Now we're going to link to external resources, specifically a map on Google Maps and a weather report on Weather Underground. Both those things exist in different places, different from each other and different from the actual website you're building for the bed and breakfast. In order to provide the full URL, we need to include things like the protocol, HTTP, followed by the colon and the 2 slashes, and then the domain names. In the case of the map, we'll have to include maps.google.com and a bunch of specific information about the map we're looking for after that. And I'll show you how it all works right now. The first thing the book talks about is having to go out to the Weather Underground website, or to weather.com. I just use Weather Underground because I think it's a better site in general. Just personal preference. I go and I look for a specific forecast for Marble, Minnesota, which is the location of our bed and breakfast. And we do a search for that, and then we copy the URL from the URL line of the browser. Then we're going to have that on our clipboard. So when we now go back to our actual navigation links, remember last time we filled in the internal links, but we haven't got to the external links. And we're going to add a href, and we're going to paste in the address to the Weather Underground website, specifically to the Marble, Minnesota forecast that we just put on our clipboard. And we're going to surround the word local weather on the right side or the end of the word local weather with an ending A tag. Now we're going to go and actually look at it, and how about that? Now in our list of links where local weather used to not be a workable link, it is now a workable link, and we can actually click on it. When we do, we see that we get the weather report. Now the next thing the book asks you to do is go out and find a directions page or map page for Marble, Minnesota. They talk about specifically going to the directions page. I say just go to maps.google.com, try to find Marble, Minnesota, then use the share link to get a sharing URL. Copy that to your clipboard just like we did from Weather Underground. Then we're going to go back to our code, and we're going to add a href, and we're going to paste in, surrounded by quotes, the URL that we just copied from Google Maps. And we're going to surround the word directions with a closing A tag. And now we're going to go back and look at the page and see directions is now a workable link. When we click on it, we get the map of Marble, Minnesota. So we're in pretty good shape now. We have 2 links to external resources, links that did previously work that now work and function just as we would expect them to do. The next thing we need to do, since we have only built this on the reserve page, is we need to copy that content. And that's everything within the nav class, from the opening nav tag to the closing nav tag. We need to select that and copy it. I just do a Control-C to copy, and we are going to paste it in the same position on our other files. That includes the index.html file, the aboutus.html, and the rooms.html file. So you should do that now. And I'm just going to pause here and let you get caught up. Make sure that you have not only made the replacement in each of the pages, but you saved. You can go to the File menu to save, or I like doing a Control-S keyboard shortcut. It's a very easy way to save. And now you can see in all the files you should have the nav with the class site navigation all the way to the close nav available as the navigation tool, because you've pasted it into each one of these web pages. Now we'll kind of click around to see it, and now all the pages have this navigation except for the home page, and we'll talk about why that is. Your book addresses that a little bit, and we'll take care of that in a future lesson.